So why host webinars? I'm sure that many of you may be familiar with this, but really, guys, it's a home run for generating leads and building your email list. It's one of the core pillars in today's 2015 marketing space for adding people to your email list who are targeted, who are engaged with you. It builds that know, like, and trust factor with your current following, but also with people who are new to your brand. When people get to see you on a video like you just saw us, you get to ask questions of us, you get to hear us, there is a rapid increase in the amount of trust that those people are feeling with you. And finally, obviously, there's higher conversion rates for your medium to high offers. You know, it's just driving traffic to a sales page by itself for a $100, $200, $300+ product is not working as well as it once did. You need to be hosting, getting in front of that audience, and then selling one-to-many on a webinar. In fact, John Lee Dumas, who many of you may be familiar of Entrepreneur on Fire, has sold up to 91% of his Podcaster's Paradise product, and that's a $1,200 product on webinars exclusively. So if you're going to sell medium to higher ticket prices or products and services, you want to be doing webinars. How we doing, Lou?
Great. Somebody had a really good question about using lead pages rather than Webinar Jam, and it's kind of apples and oranges. You can use lead pages for your webinar registration page, but Webinar Jam is great because it really takes care of you from registration through thank you pages, through replays, and the whole deal, which I'm sure you'll get into.
Yeah, lead pages works, guys, but there are more steps to it, and it's not as fully integrated as Webinar Jam. You'll need a second-party service to do the chat, like something like Chatroll, in order to make lead pages look good and be able to chat with your audience. But in my opinion, for live webinars, Webinar Jam, which we'll touch on in a second, is the way to go for now. So I'll touch on that in a few slides. So let's talk about why use Hangouts. I hear this question all the time. What's the big deal? Why should I use Hangouts versus something like GoToWebinar? Well, the biggest one, guys, is cost. Cost efficient. We're living in a time where literally it's inexpensive for the small guy, the solo guy or gal, to do webinars. I mean, a lot of businesses who are just starting out, or small, or businesses, solo consultants, couldn't afford the $300, $400, $500 a month for an expensive webinar software. Well, guys, as I'm going to touch on in a minute, they just got a whole lot more cost efficient, so that now anybody can really do these. With Google Hangouts, you have an unlimited audience, or at least as many people as Google's servers will hold, which is probably quite a few, versus a maximum of something like 1,000 for GoToWebinar. So if you're looking to scale your business, or if you have an existing business that's fairly good size, you want to think about using Hangouts. You can have up to 10 presenters for free. So we could get 10 people. There's 2 right now, me and Lou. You can have up to 10 for free on a Google Hangout versus paying for them in other services. You can think about doing roundtable discussions, all of that for free versus paying. They're easy to record and repurpose. So after we're done with this, we're doing a Google Hangout on air. I'm going to get a YouTube video automatically placed into my YouTube channel. Automatically. I don't have to do anything that I can repurpose, and we'll talk about repurposing a bit later. And attendees can watch from any device. You don't need a special app. You don't need anything. They can view you from mobile, from a tablet, or from desktop. So what's wrong? I get this another question, is what's wrong with regular Hangouts? Why do I need a third-party app? Well, guys, I'm here to tell you, I used to do regular Hangouts, and I was missing out on one major thing for building my online business, and that was collecting emails. You simply cannot collect emails using the standard Hangout on air, and as many of you know, collecting emails is really the backbone of your online presence, right? I mean, I'm sure you would agree with that, Lou, that if you're not building an email list of people that you're engaging with, you're really missing a major boat in your online success.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I mean, you could, and I know you'll cover this, but you could use Google Hangouts alone, but with Webinar Jam, it's that much more powerful.
Yeah. Yeah, you can use these for free, guys. And Google Hangouts can be used, like Lou did, for a little promo videos or for team meetings. They're great for that. Or just to collaborate and get exposure. But you're not going to be able to build your list, which is, I think, to me, is like, wow, that's a big thing. So you also, with standard Google Hangouts, you can't effectively engage with your audience. Like as you see something like Webinar Jam, you can easily ask questions back and forth to Lou and I. That's not easily done via regular Hangouts. They're even using something like Comment Tracker, which is, if you get anybody in the audience is a Hangout guy or gal, that is more of a one-way street. That's not necessarily you talking back and forth quickly and engaging with your audience. So it really takes it to the next level in engagement using a third-party application. And plus, there's not an effective way to really share your offers easily. Like within a third-party application, you can literally post an offer live on the screen for people to go and check out. There are a few apps in the standard Hangout, but it's pretty clunky. So if you're serious about building your business, hosting webinars, you're going to want a third-party application. So these are the major players on the market right now. Webinar Jam, which we're using right now, as you can see, is my favorite for live webinars. It's about $297 a year. So compare that with $200 to $300+ a month for a lot of these other services. It's a very good price. Easy Webinar is another one on the market that just came out. That one's excellent. A little more expensive, is my understanding, but it's excellent for evergreen or recorded webinars. But I don't necessarily. The reason why I didn't switch to that is as the Q&A function isn't quite as good. Webinar Ignition.
Casey's.
What's that?
Do you know Easy Webinar? Is that Casey Zeman?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Webinar Ignition is another one. RunClick is a WordPress plugin that allows you to host Hangouts right on your website. So if you're interested in that, having your own branding, it's very inexpensive. I think it's under $100. Lead Pages, which was mentioned earlier, is an option. They do have a Hangouts webinar template that you can use within Lead Pages. It's a little trickier to set up than Webinar Jam, I'll tell you that. I've seen how that works. You do need a second party to come in and use something like chat role in order for there to be a chat function. And to me, the chat function in that is pretty subpar compared to Webinar Jam. But it is an option, guys. You can use all of these. And finally, 22 Social is another one where you can actually host Hangouts live on your Facebook page. I have used this one. Again, it has, I felt, pretty limited Q&A abilities. So for live webinars, I didn't really care for it.
Cool. A quick question, if I can jump in here,
Yep.
Because this happens with me a lot. A lot of times, if I'm showing my screen and I'm doing a PowerPoint or a Keynote, if I'm on a Mac, and then I go to full screen, all of a sudden I lose my Google Hangout, operation because it's full screen. So, are you using when you show your slides? Are you using Google Slides or a PDF, or how are you doing that?
Right now, you mean?
Yep.
Yeah, right now I'm using Google Presentation.
Okay.
That is allows you to present in a separate window in full present mode. So
okay.
that is a little tip, guys. If you want to, there can be some challenges with doing screen shares in PowerPoint. That's how I found it. Or you can do what Mr. Lou does, which is create a PDF and scroll.